Hey everyone, Joyce Pellegrini here, and I am excited to have Stella Hoh on my show today. And she just got back from her vacation, and they had the Chinese New Year, so she got to spend it with family. So, how was your trip?
Oh, awesome. Yeah, we did a outdoor trip to Phuket. So did outdoor activities with the children, spend time with the folks. And yeah, it was an enjoyable break. And then a lot of gatherings with friends and family about this is about bonding, time for bonding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice, nice. Well, that's always nice to do. So, I want to share a little bit about how I met Stella. We have the same mentor. We were on a business cruise and I fell in love with her immediately. And I met her lovely husband, Daniel, and she wanted to do a process with me. So I realized that she's a very intuitive and she ran a process that she now does. And I've had her do it with one of my weight loss groups. It's called Fear to Power. So, and it was really a profound experience for me. I was petrified of cold calling. It was like picking up the 1,000 pound phone. And she kind of just honed into, why I was stuck. It was a childhood trigger. And we went through a process, and it was really breaking for me because when I went home from that cruise, I launched a couple businesses. I brought in like 100,000 or over $100,000 furniture project. So it really just kind of opened me up and got me out of being fearful, just like I wanted to do this on YouTube for years. And I was just kind of stuck in fear of just putting myself out there. So here I am, and I'm so glad that I met you. So why don't you share a little bit about yourself and like how did you come about that process with Fear to Power?
Yeah, maybe a little backstory about me. I am in real estate for more than 25 years. So I would say I started young at 15 years old, wanting to be a businesswoman and chance upon real estate somehow because I couldn't get into business in university. So I did real estate. And I've been doing real estate since then, since like university days as a part-time broker then. And then subsequently a licensed appraiser, investment sales, head of investment, and now a real estate mentor and strategist as well. So however, I was looking for something perhaps about 10 years ago because I felt something was missing in my life. There was just something that I wanted to fulfill deep inside my heart. It's this emptiness there. So I started searching for personal development. I went to so many mentors, coaches, consultants. And I also started NLP. And I got myself accredited as a master NLP. So I found that some of the processes that I learned in NLP was some of the things, or Master NLP was some of the things that I had been using as a child. Like it was this innate nature in me to be positive, to look at things differently, really out of the box. And I was very interested in spiritual. So in these 10 years, I was also looking for my spiritual direction. So NLP, I saw a process that many people learn NLP like a knowledge. However, I actually, during the class, I did one of the process with one of the participants, and I realized that he has a major shift. Rest, the rest, just like process, the structure, and things like that. Then I discovered that there's something unique in the process. Then, of course, because I'm pretty spiritual and sort of know, and I started reflecting and looking at all the foundational stuff that I know, then I observed that actually fears are just merely symptoms. It is a way of expression for someone to reject something. That's about it. It is something else inside. It is not the fear. And along the journey, I discovered that it is the inner childhood wounds in most people. I wouldn't say 100% of the people, but it could be 99.9%. It's
Right.
just different kind of fears. And sometimes fears are created by good memories, interestingly. Some are created by bad memories. Majority are bad memories. And unfortunately, a resultant effect is money blocks. That is one of the major blocks. Some people say, hey, I just can't manifest. I can't get my achievements in life. Or some people work and don't follow through. A certain personality and characteristic. It comes about from childhood inner wounds that created a certain habits in them for self-protection. So it is what I call cell memory. So the body is consisted of a lot of cells, right? So some of these cells stay inside the body to create the memory. That's why when you, for example, you fall, sometimes you have a cell memory at the portion that you fell, or you have a surgery. It does stay there as a cell memory. So there are even some other techniques, that physical techniques, healing techniques that clear memory on the body. And interestingly, 10 years ago, when I was searching for this personal development, I also went to learn healing modalities. I'm a certified Bowen technique instructor. I'm certified Emmett techniques and Reiki, angel healing, lots of stuff in this journey. So during the pandemic, or rather before the pandemic when we met, I actually tested, of course, with you and a couple other people on my technique, which I developed upon from the NLP's process that I learned, and I recreated it with my own inputs, then and actually merged with several modalities. Yeah, that was what happened to you. And I guess you went to 4 years old, you saw something about rejection by your father. And once that block was removed, of course, there are many layers. It doesn't mean that I remove one layer, everything is clear, because it is so profound, right? In there,
Yes.
all these memories. So at least one layer is clear. You went out, you did what you could, and you closed, 100,000 deals and etc. So yeah, so Fear to Power was born during the pandemic because I saw so many people struggling, even with COVID, the fears of COVID. I have no fear for COVID because I believe in the mindset process. I believe that we are in control of our own body cells. So it's about keeping your immunity high and managing your mindset in order to, take care of your own well-being. It's not just COVID, it's even sicknesses and stuff like that.
Correct.
Yeah, I've stayed pretty well for now, almost touching 5. I guess I'm keeping quite well. Yeah, with holistic, with energy, like what you say, the energy flows wherever the mind goes, right?
Yep.
So yeah, that was the Fear to Power process, and that's the birth of Fear to Power. And of course, this pandemic, I'm really, really, really grateful that I can reach out to many people. I started with offering for free to help as many as possible. Then people asked to be on a program. Then it became a formalized program to reach out to people. I kept it very affordable so that it can reach out to more people, and a very simple process. Of course, if people want to go into deeper layers, there are many more they should continue doing. However, at least for the first time, they could at least clear the first round of fears. Yeah.
Yeah, it was an amazing process, especially when we had a group of people. I think the first time I did it online with everybody that was around the world, we had probably 8 or 9 people. And it was an amazing experience that I think, of course, I always go first because I want to get it in one and done. So, of course, I raised my hand and I went first, and I went back to what we did on the boat. And you were surprised. I remember that. And you're like, again? I go, it was big. I mean, being rejected by your father is huge. And then it created the personality that I have. And I would tell people I'm really an introvert, and they're like, no way. And I'm like, when I'm comfortable, I'm an extrovert. But if you put me in a room with a bunch of strangers, I'm such an introvert, and I'll just stay in a corner. I'll latch onto one person, and I'm like,
I'm exactly like you, People say, hey, Stella, you're an
yeah.
extrovert. I'm not. I'm just high functional extrovert. By nature, I freeze in a room of strangers. I just
Right.
tag along someone I know and get introduced to the rest of the people.
My God, no wonder why Eunice says we're so much alike. That's funny.
Yeah, we
So
are I think the like-minded people gets attracted to, together.
absolutely. It's just like, we're soul sisters. So why
Yeah.
don't you share a little bit? I also, because Stella reached out to me because, I call it the pandemic that started just stopped my business. Like literally March of 2020, my phone stopped ringing and I'm like, uh-oh, no government support. I'm 1099. I'm a contractor. So it was really a rough time. And she saw me disappear on probably Facebook and she reached out to me and she's like, "What's going on, Pellegrini?" And I'm like, "I just can't do this technology." And I'm like, "What are you doing?" So she launched her Mindset to Profit. And of course, I'm like, "Well, I want to sign up. Let's go." So she kind of got pushed by me to push through. And now this is going on my second year. That's only, oh my gosh, definitely, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
my second year with you.
Yeah.
It's been amazing because I love masterminding. So we have a great group of people. We mastermind, we help each other out. And Stella uses her business acumen and she's not afraid of technology. Like, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Like, I can type really fast, but the technology I can't get. So she really makes it easy for us. She finds things that work and then she teaches us. So I'm so happy that we're working together with that as well. So why don't you share how that was created, your mindset to profits?
Yeah, I guess I want to cover a little bit more about the fears because
Oh,
even fear
go
of
for it.
technology is also from, you don't have the kind of fatherly love from a young child. And in the process of growing up, the father is the person who actually can give us the confidence in life. So I
Mm,
want to cover this because I think it's very important because father is the wealth. If you generally have a good relationship with your father, you perhaps wealth come pretty easy.
mm,
Not so good. Sometimes you get some blocks along the way. Mother is nurturing figure. It gives the value of life. So if you have a relatively good value in terms of um, nurturing side of things, love, compassion, stuff like that, chances is you have a relatively good relationship with your mother, and you would have a good relationship with a spouse or a partner, and it gets easy for you. It's
right.
sometimes you feel that it's very not easy for you to get along with someone or find someone. Chances is you have to work on your mother's relationship in order for that breakthrough. So this is that important element that I realize in doing this process with people because different age processes has built us up to who we want to be. Yeah, so I want to cover that as well. So just to benefit your audience here, like
Yes.
0 to 1.5 years, right? It is the time when the child needs sense of security. I know in the Western world, they say leave the child to cry, they'll cry themselves to sleep in the bedroom, so be it. However, there is an impact on the child because the child new to the world, for 9 months they are in this water bag. They have this warm there, and you leave them there when they needed some sense of security. Their crying is not because they're crying, it's because they wanted some attention. It's a way of asking for help.
Right.
So the sense of security hugging them at that point in time is quite important to calm them down. At least calm them down to the level that, hey, talk to them and get them to sleep, even if you're getting them to sleep on their own. So it's a process. So 1.5 years to 3 years old is the sense of direction. It's the time when you hear them saying, why? And you want to be able to address their why rather than dismiss the whys, because that gives them a sense of, processing, the mind processing. However, these days people throw in an iPad, an iPhone, an Android phone to distract the child. And they don't learn anything. They just learn speed,
Right.
function. That's why you also see there's a lot more like dyslexic children, ADHD, learning disability because they're not coping at their brain level in growth. So 3 to 6 years old is the time when people end up with what we call in the Chinese terms, giant baby. So they stay there. That's the time when you learn sense of responsibility. If you're not trained 3 to 6 with the sense of responsibility, you grow up to be someone without that, and sometimes lost. Of course, in your growing up, I'm not saying you can't change it along the way with the right nurturing.
Right.
It just has that impact of cell memory to stop certain level. So the 7 to 9 years old is the time when they need sense of achievement. That's the time when your parents, your teachers are going to say, well done, darling, even though it was 1 mark from 0. Yeah. So it rather than, hey, how are you going to make that better? Kind of stuff. Oh, that is lousy. So a lousy person, the self-worth, if you hit a child with the self-worth issues right from young, they will have self-worth issues even if they do well in life.
Right.
Inner self-worth issues. So you realize I skip 9 to 10 because people cross over at different stage. Some people between 10 to 11 cross to the 7 to 9 for late bloomers. And for the more mature one, they'll fall into the 12 to 18. The 12 to 18 is the time when they want the sense of self-identity. So people complain, my son is rebellious, my daughter is, crazy out of hand. They are not rebellious. They are finding their identity. If you allow them to voice, if you have a good relationship with them and they're able to raise in their own words without judgment, they're able to build their self-character. Then that's when they will not rebel. They are actually asking for them to be seen. So unfortunately, sometimes, in teenage years or youth time, the parents dismiss them for a bad child, they ignore them. Ignoring someone can be worse, actually.
Yes,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Yes. So that this whole process of growth create the behavior, the values. Hence, fear to power, remove that. Mindset to profit was after that we went through for business process because I was getting people out of their fear of technology, out of their fear of business, because many people were like, oh, pandemic, how am I going to go online? I can't do this online. I did it because I break through my own fears of doing it. I wanted to show people I could do this. I want to show myself more importantly. So I learned it, I tested it, and I then decided when you came, I felt you. I felt you across the globe on my phone. I felt that Joyce needed help. And I should reach out to her, even if it's just a word of concern. Even if she doesn't want to say anything, it's fine. I just talk to her. So that's how I reach out to you. And that's the birth of Mindset to Profit from there on because you wanted it. And a couple of people say, yes, we want it because we saw you do it. We want to model it. And we want to keep it simple because there are too much complication out there. And learning it the hard way takes a lot of time. Since you could do it in the shortest time, I want to join you. And that is, that I'm really happy that with me for the second year. In fact, most of them who really are committed in the first year, they move on to the second year. Yeah. Only those who did not implement, they couldn't keep up. And everyone has their own pace and journey.
Yes, yes. Well, it's been really a blessing in my life, to the point where hopefully she'll come across the pond and come into the United States and we'll actually do a live event. Since my first event that we produced in April, like I get emails, when are you going to do another event? When are you going to have another event? And I'm like, okay, I'll look into 2023.
Yeah, we
So I
one.
think it's really a fabulous because the clients that I do sessions with doing the energy and the quantum biofeedback, that is an issue. And I keep sharing with people that, we have to forgive our parents. We are adults. We have to leave that behind us. But I agree, in my system, it sells cellular memory, hormonal memory, muscle memory. Things get lodged, which then creates stagnant energy within the energy field. And when I can do a session on someone and just work on their emotions, and one lady told me the pain in my shoulders went away I've had for 13 years, but it was a lodged emotion that we don't know. We don't know what happens in the physical body. And then you go to the doctor and they're like, there's nothing wrong with you. I did an x-ray. There's nothing wrong with you. And they're like, I'm not crazy. So it is a lot about muscle, hormonal, and cellular memory for sure that we hold on to things within our body.
Yeah, sometimes as we grow older, there's some wisdom and we start to forgive people. However, that's a very surface level. It's just unfortunate that the cells do remember and it's not easy to clear. So a
Yes.
process that goes deeper, like biofeedback and added with feel the power does make a difference because
Yes.
that's when the body align itself and we can actually reprogram the cell memory. It is not something that you totally 100% remove, but it is actually almost to the level of it's like a movie after a while. It just
Yeah.
from something that hurts, it becomes a movie. And that process, in fact, occasionally I do it on my children because growing up years, I wasn't there. There
Right.
was lack of motherly love, and I'm pretty masculine in many ways. Yeah, so there was this opportunity for me to now work on them because now that I know this for myself, right? So it's not just about self; it's also about the ability to use the right process for your family.
Right.
And I would say, in fact, when we did Fear to Power online, I was surprised because I knew it worked very well. One on one, live. I wasn't expecting it to work that well online because of that distance, right? Because we're just across the screen. It was
Yes.
just amazing how people's life changed just across the camera. And however, I also know that if we were to do it live, that time we don't have a choice. But
Right.
if we were to do it live, the impact is going to be huge because there's an element of touch
Yes.
that we didn't have online.
And
So
you
I
have the
love,
extra nurturing, even though on Zoom we help. I mean, I cried, other people cried, and I don't like to cry either, but it's just like everybody gets shocked, and I'm like, no, it's okay. It's a release, and then it's a let go, and then you can move on. At least, you feel so much freer. I felt like I lost 100 pounds off my shoulders, like literally, and I didn't really realize that kind of trauma kept me. I knew it intellectually, but I didn't know it was that it was that bad that kept me that stuck. Even though
yeah,
I've been very successful, but some
yeah,
things are not so successful. So I had to shift and pivot, and I wanted the healing. So it was really important for me. I love it. I thought it was really spectacular, and I got healed from the other people when they did their part of their session, because you could relate to their story and then the next story. So it was really a beautiful thing. And I was shocked it was so great online as well. But
yeah.
at the end of the day, that's how everybody does business today, right? It's online, on Zoom, on a meetup, what have you. And I've gotten so bad where I feel like I don't even want to leave my castle. Like, I love my house. I used to feel really isolated, and I'm like, I'm not isolated. I'm talking to Stella. She's in Singapore.
Yeah. And because when you're doing a group, right, is a trust amongst each other, even though you don't know each other, frankly speaking. But it is an opportunity to first thing first, trust yourself, open your heart. So
Right.
that is itself is the greatest healing.
I agree.
Yeah, because you're able to open your heart. And when you can open your heart, which is tough with other modalities, right? When you can open your heart, you can allow love to come in. And you can
Right.
also love others. And that defense is broken because you no longer have to hold it so hard on yourself and wear that defense. I mean, you can see a lot of celebrities or some even very highly successful people. They also suffer. They look successful, but they have this inner, maybe self-worth issues, confidence, self-esteem issues. That's why some of them take their life. Yeah,
Right.
because after, even though they have that kind of success, they have something missing there because their heart is not full.
Right.
So
Right.
we want to be like in oneness of ourselves and the people, the surrounding, the universe, the love. Yeah. So it's not just about money or success or fame or honor, but it's the ability to love yourself and love others unconditionally and then enjoy the process. And
Right.
that's where money flows because money is an energy.
Yes.
Without it's the same. People ask me why do you spend money? You spend like there's no end to it. I tell them that's a mindset because when you decide that money is an energy. When you use it, it will come back.
Exactly. When you give it, you receive. So
Yes. Yeah,
absolutely.
of course, you need to manage in such a way that you are still surviving well. It's not like you spend every single cent you have. It's just about the flow. You give it a flow to move, and then you know that you have a way to bring it back to yourself. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it all comes back all the way to energy, like what you're doing now, to the fears, to the mindset, to the childhood. It's all interlinked as an entity, as a whole universe on its own. This is our universe.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Our own temple. Yeah. Our body is our own temple. Yeah. So this is the energy process that I really enjoy. And um the physical part will help in terms of the deeper wounds, especially. Yeah. So not that the deeper wounds can't be touched, but it can go another layer of healing on top
Yeah.
of that. So I would love to run Feel the Power Life eventually as well. And
Yes.
yeah, maybe we can look at USA. I can fly there anytime.
Yes, it's open sailing now.
Yeah, it's open, borders is open. I'm
That's right.
traveling much. And because of my work, I can do anything online. Yeah. Yeah. Basically, I run my webinar workshops online every Wednesday for
Have your
another.
computer, have your Logitech camera, and she's ready to go.
Yeah, I have another full setup on a portable setup for going anywhere with
Travel.
all these gadgets out there. I have another set for that. I'm just
Good.
crazy about it. And to be honest, I was a technology dinosaur. I swear. I couldn't do it. Even on PowerPoint, I'm like, I can't do PowerPoint. You ask me to do a transition, the animation, I just find it a hassle. And if I want to make it more interesting, no.
It
It's
takes
like
a lot of time too.
not me. Then Excel, I just need the simple stuff because in the past in corporate, you have people helping you. You have your staff, so you don't have to run all this yourself. But I
Right.
made myself cross that hurdle as well.
Right.
So, so I know now that there is a way to hack yourself, biohack yourself.
Technology hacks 101. Stella has them. I love it. I'm like, how do I do this? And she'll get on. I'm like, I still haven't figured out. I was taught 6 months ago and I forgot how to go live on YouTube and connect Zoom. So one of these days I'll figure that out.
Oh, it's just one button away.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
Well,
well, um, being open,
yeah.
being
Yeah, I think
open.
it's an awesome process. And I think it's great for kids, like when mama's fixed, daddy's fixed, the children, follow suit. So I just think it's really a great tool. And I'll be working with Cherry Div Band with the children, and it could be something that we could really use there as well. That I'll have to I haven't even had a conversation with her, so I'll have to share this process with, because she works with a lot of starseed kids and kids that just don't feel that they fit in, and they're already 5D and they're living in a 3D world. And they have some amazing stories and what these kids and their capabilities are, and they don't feel like they fit in, and there's nothing wrong with them. They're just different, and they learn differently.
Yeah.
So she's creating schools that kids can learn. If you are a book person, you do books. If you do music and arts, you do that, and open up the way we teach our children instead of putting them in a box and it's all got to be this way, which every kid I know goes to school is bored to death because
Yeah.
they're not being stimulated the right way.
That's awesome because I also volunteer in children organization and teaches the children. So I teach them totally out of the box.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good.
And I actually uh infuse some of this feel the power process in there because it
Yeah,
can't be there directly, but it's infused in the learning process. So
right,
I know the techniques of getting them out of the way. Yeah. Because if you tell them a process, they get home,
right.
because kids are kids. and parents get very uncomfortable. So it's just infused in part of the teaching. So I mean that's that. But for you and Sherry do that, awesome, great job.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited.
And the truth is, the truth you said that just now. The truth is, when the parents get healed, when one of us get healed, the energy somehow, the frequency will go to the parents, our
it's a
parents.
whole DNA change.
Children.
Absolutely. When you shift, like when I shift my energy, everything has to change around me. It just happens. That's just the way it works. So that's very true. When you heal something within you, it shifts the whole DNA channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Great.
Well, anything else you would like to share with my audience tonight?
If you
And is
want,
there anything you can send me that I can put in the description?
okay, for anyone interested to go for Fear to Power and want to hop on and apply to join us for the program, you can actually hop into www.feartopower.com.
Okay, and I'll put that in the description when I upload this to YouTube.
Yeah, we are coming up with a newer version of Fear to Power. It is in the it is going to be something like manifest your wealth.
Okay.
Kind of Fear to Power. Basically using Fear to Power process to manifest that wealth.
I love it. Awesome.
Yeah. So that will be the newer version of Fear to Power. So,
Right.
but at the moment, anyone who hops into Fear to Power can get access to that.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the part. I think mindset to profit we can cover another time so that your audience can.
I'll have you back in a couple weeks.
Yeah, great. I'd love to be here to share.
Okay. So thanks everyone for jumping in a quick chat with Stella Hoh from Singapore. And I hope to visit you there one day soon this year. I will definitely come over there because it's on my bucket list and I can't wait to hang out with your lovely family. So I'm ready to come there for sure.
Yeah.
So you want to say goodbye
Bye.
and
Yeah.
we'll see you soon, family.
Yeah, I want to
Bye-bye.
see you soon. Bye.
Go ahead.